Why, you may ask, in a modern and supposedly enlightened world, should there be a hankering for these strange and to some frightening beliefs?
You had it coming.
Yeah.
You had it coming.
Yeah, the warning signs were there.
A lot of people don't realize this, but the match was originally called "Get Hit by a Red Car," screaming off from off camera match. I think is the truth. That's not true.
It's still a little ambiguous, but you should get a good hint at that point.
You should. Now, again, great drop kick by our man. We have to do one more take, and we have to write their names down because we owe them that service, I think. This is The Sins of Wrestling. It's a show about tropes, traditions, and traits, or other words that we consider. Tricks.
No, that's not supposed to be read.
Tricks, tropologies, techniques. I love it. My name is Alex Vidalis, and I don't have any credentials at all. But I will say I've been a wrestling fan for a long time. It's something I've been watching probably since I was 7 years old, which is so long ago now. And, it's an art form that I love so much. I know you're also a fan, Mr. Kurt.
Yeah, this is Kurt. I don't have any credentials either, and while I'm a fan, I'm not nearly as experienced or knowledgeable as most people, so, that's what I'm bringing to the table.
And so on this show, we're going to talk about some of the more ridiculous tropes that exist in the art form of professional wrestling, because one, they are hilarious to watch the videos. Two, we think that they have some cultural relevance, as they sometimes are reflective of what we value in our lives. Like limousines.
Cobra attacks.
Cobra attacks. That might be a bit much, but you'll understand what I'm saying. One of the clips that we'll put up on the website is the infamous "I'd like to talk to Tom" angle, which is an angle that dips into, abuse and gaslighting, which is really strange to imagine wrestling tackling those issues. But we got to sell tickets, baby.
They're always on the cutting edge.
Now, let's kick it down to the ring and talk about our first clip with Alex Rockwell and Kurt Huge.
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob. Hey, thanks for joining us, wrestling fans, at minute 9, second 50 of your YouTube playlist. This is the JC Extreme versus Jamal the Wizard match. We're watching it now. Here is the thing, Kurt. You had some observations about the benefits of a bring your own chair hardcore match.
Yeah, I think more wrestling events should be set up like this one, where the fans can bring their own chairs to the match, because I want to know a little bit more about the audience. I want to, I like to find myself in the audience, see people I can relate to, not relate to. And so you got people with really comfortable looking high back chairs. You got people with kind of like whatever mesh chair they found in their grandma's garage. You got people who really that's probably the only piece of furniture they own who showed up with this.
So here we hold on. Big tornado DDT here from JC Extreme to Jamal the Wizard. Impressive. I would say that the most impressive part of that is that in no way, shape, or form do I buy that the move actually worked.
Right. On top of that, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that those boards are laying in the yard to give them a surface to work on, but something tells me they're there 24/7.
There's a lot of earthworms under there, my friend.
Oh, man, you don't want to lift that up. There's going to be some roly-polies coming at you.
Making their way over to the yellow fucking spot, pardon my French, on the lawn, which I guess there was probably a board there, is why it's yellow, right?
Right. That's dead grass, which is the dead giveaway that those boards are a permanent fixture in this place. The other thing, every time they cut to this shot of this trailer that's behind them, there's like a cutout in it, and it just keeps freaking me out because I feel like there's a wrestling ghost living in the trailer or something. It's kind of like that, the 3 Men and a Baby.
Look at this guy on the right
Urban
getting
legend.
up. What's his problem?
Oh, man, he's the only one who's actually stood up and shown any interest in this match at this point.
You guys better not be hitting that motherfucker with a car.
Okay, so again, the foreshadowing in this match is off the charts. We can see the red car in the distance.
No spoilers needed. If you're watching this, you know what we're leading to here.
Yeah, you know it's coming because it's in the title of the YouTube video. But I hate to be a victim blamer, but I almost feel like if with the amount of foreshadowing and signs available here,
Jamal the Wizard should have known this was coming.
Jamal the Wizard should have known better.
I think here, as JC Extreme is keeping his distance, you sort of know the jig is up, right? But at the same time, they do go back. What is he? What are these punches? He's kind of
Whoa.
again, hell of a drop kick by JC Extreme.
That's a real
shoot.
slobber knocker.
That's a shoot too. That's a hell of a drop kick. Look at this kid. He gets up in the air.
Is it a shoot if he just doesn't know how to pull it? Like I think he just. Oh
no, I mean
he really did kick him in the head.
I know. I meant it was a shoot that I was not bullshitting that he did to throw a decent drop kick.
Also, one note I want to make: JC Extreme successfully and easily lights his torch. Compare that to Hogan trying to light the flash paper at Halloween Havoc.
My God, that was insane.
Like JC Extreme is way more competent with tools than the Hulkster is.
Now let's call the action JC Extreme with a big flaming stick to the head, flaming poo stick, and there, oh my God, Ted Cruz.
I love You're right. The like sympathy bump that he takes where he falls backwards. Also, you know how in some cultures, if like you save someone's life, they owe you.
Yeah, that's called the Grateful Dead.
What do we say in this where JC sees the car coming? Doesn't say a word. He just backs out of the way.
I believe it's called accessory to a felonious assault.
Oh, yeah. That's what they call that. Zodiac Killer emerging from the car. He's
Now he gets the short end of the stick here. That guy on the ground, Jamal the Wizard, right? I mean, this was toughest on him. You think?
Getting hit by the car is toughest on the guy who got hit by the car. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a side,
he definitely looks like he took the worst of that bump. I'm gonna say, right?
I actually think the car probably took the brunt of it.
Oh, so Ted Cruz does not actually unmask. Then this guy, hell of a makeup job here.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, what's funny is the two guys in the car, the driver has the best physique of all these guys, and the dude with the makeup, like, has the best look, and he's the tallest one. Why are we wasting time with JC and Jamal?
Do you think he was on earlier in the card? We probably should have done some research.
I think research could only hurt the process here, you know.
I completely agree with that, my friend.
There is a bit of poetry there in that these guys went at it for 15 minutes in a brutal hardcore rules match, and now they're just laying together, crumpled in a heap in the grass.
One more time, if you're watching.
Oh boy!
This was in fact complete and total felonious assault. Someone, I mean, if this had not happened in the guise of a hardcore match, which, as most people know, with the way that the GOP has gerrymandered the laws. Anything that's deemed a hardcore match, there's nothing that can happen in there.
Nothing can be done.
Nothing can be done.
This is our future.
It's kind of like they call it, I believe, Proposition. What is it?
316.
No, not Proposition. That would be amazing, right? Now, one more time as we watch the highlights of this match. A heck of a reversal on the stunner here. Then comes at him with a huge Yakuza kick.
Big boot
really
to the
impressed.
head. Stop
This-
sign clearly in view, clear foreshadowing.
I think that's maybe a Tope con Hilo. Maybe I can't remember. I might have gotten that name right. Write to us if I got it wrong. Hell of a punch there. Totally clocked him for real.
I have to say, if we were watching
Tiger Driver,
that's
91.
that's a solid move.
Tiger Driver. Don't write about that one. I know I got that one wrong. Thumbtacks coming out. Big. This is not physically. I don't think he thought about that all the way through.
Too many gimmicks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Too many gimmicks. Power slam into the tax.
Let's be honest. JC Extreme did not take the majority of the bumps in this match. I hope Jamal the Wizard got the bigger payday here.
Yeah, Jamal gets brutalized in this. Although JC is the one who has to touch the yellow, the weird yellow grass, which nothing good can come from that.
And one more time for you, and this we'll end here. He does kick him straight in the face.
Yeah.
That
probably helped him. He's probably a little stunned when the car hits him, so he's a little less fearful, you know?
Oh, one more time for the kids at home. Make sure you know.
Damn.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Okay, so I got to ask, do you think the windshield breaking was
it's a spot.
happy accident, or is that they did not expect that to happen?
I do believe that is a planned spot because I don't think any modern windshield would crack that way. I think modern windshield spider glass.
Okay.
That would be a great thing. If you know, why don't you send us an email or reply to a comment on this episode. Let's send things back up to Alex Vidalis and Kurt Foster with more commentary. So in this episode, we are tackling literal crimes in wrestling. Now, how would you define literal crimes in wrestling, Kurt?
It's people doing things that are straight up crimes as part of the match and somehow improbably getting away with it because wrestling?
Yes. Now, we could just limit things to that which happens outside of the bell. because that is some of the 90% of the clips that we're going to be sharing are things that happen outside of the bell. So those would be, they would be considered crimes, because the example that we often give is like, whether it be like shit talk in an MMA match, like you can't take a swing at the guy at the weigh-in and be cool. During football, you can't deflate footballs.
Right. But you also can't throw fire at them even during the game.
Right. Now, the reason that it's funny to call this stuff out is because while there are these things that dip into like, well, it's not crime because it happened in the heat of action, there are also times too where they're like, oh, hey, guess what? You did a crime and you're going to get arrested now.
Right. They have a shifting matrix for what's acceptable and what's not. And above and beyond that, wrestling is so focused on trying to pass itself off often as a legitimate sport, but there is no legitimate sport where you're allowed to just commit a crime and everyone just keeps on playing the baseball game. Like, well, we're going to head to the top of the sixth, even though somebody just drove a limousine over our relief pitcher.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and in the NFL, I mean, if you even take a swing or pretend to take a swing at someone, you're ejected from the game and probably suspended for more than one game. Because they take fighting. But then, of course, then you have something like hockey, where not only are there still goons who play on the reg, fighting is a passionately loved part of the sport.
Right, but even then, it happens within a pretty narrowly defined context, and it only happens for so long. And you couldn't, in the middle of that fight, start doing karate kicks or something as part of your fight, let alone throw a cobra at someone.
Yeah, exactly. So we're starting this clip at the 0 mark. If on the playlist, it is the WWE supplied Cobra attack video of the Macho King, or the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Now, here's the thing. So first of all, we might have to be selling some Reinstate Macho Man branded T-shirts in our Redbubble store. Yeah. I think that's got to happen.
Oh, I thought that was an advertisement for the in-state Macho Man versus the out-of-state Macho Man.
And not to be confused with Interstate Macho Man, which is
totally different.
That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, we got to do Reinstate just in general wrestlers of all the ones who have gotten banned. I bet we could.
That's a great idea.
Dude, that's a good one.
Okay, so red flag number 1 right out of the gate. Jake the Snake is always up to his tricks, so he's already suspect. But he's wearing a massive snake handling glove that is not part of his normal outfit, and that should fill everyone involved with the proceedings with some kind of like caution, right?
Yeah, as this is the 80s, if it was anything other than a snake handling glove, it would probably be in the closet, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. But on the flip side, Macho Man coked out of his mind wearing those shades. He probably can't see.
He also has a giant herpes on his bottom right left lip.
I know you're right. I always in my mind I'm just like, oh well, he got Big Boss Man hit him in the face at a previous match.
No, it's definitely herpes. You can see it.
Yeah,
but it happens. I mean, I don't know. Not to get too hot a take, but I mean, herpes, is something that happens when people get sex. But it was only like it was like marketing that turned it into like something that became like to be fearful of.
I got you. What you should be fearful of
is not getting laid. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
that also. Also, the problem here when Roddy Piper is the voice of reason trying to talk you out of doing something, you need to think it over.
And I'm amazed. The color combination very reminiscent of the time, the orange and the green, but by today's standards, dreadfully dull. Actually, almost like too matchy. Back then, that would have been outrageous.
Right. Like these days, you could wear that to the office. You'd be fine.
I mean, and you probably do. You probably do. And I don't know what you do with your private time, sir.
Only if you work for Interstate Macho Man truck lines.
Interstate Macho Man.
A lot of people trying to get high fives in the crowd, but Macho Man's focused. I mean, that's what we like about him. How many hours does it take to individually slice your shirt to get those little tassels going?
Hawk's a loogie beyond loogies. And the ref, is he in on it? Is the ref in on this? Because he was clearly keeping Macho Man at bay, right?
He was. And also, though, spitting on someone, that's assault also.
Oh,
so...
And frankly, disgusting if you have a herpes open sore.
Yeah.
That's just going to... But given that they both had a propensity for ring rats, I bet they were sharing a lot more than just a herpes sore. No offense to anyone who might be... To the ring rats who might be listening.
Now, the boots, I got to say.
Oh, look at
the ring rats don't know how to work YouTube.
Just clearly kneeing on him in the dick. I mean,
yeah.
Look at this, slapping him with the
Oh
glove.
man,
like this.
with the snake handling glove. Again, foreshadowing. I have to say, a lot of these crimes are being telegraphed to the victims, and they need to pay attention to the warning signs.
You've always been a fan of the art. You've always been a fan of the art.
Yeah, I like the hidden game, the symbolic game of wrestling.
Now, if someone had told you and didn't tell you that these two were enemies, you would have assumed that they were probably teammates based on their garish ass color combinations.
Some kind of tag team partners that are just having a brief feud. Oh boy,
a discussion over the custody of their pet cobra. And look at these tiger boots. I didn't even realize this.
The boots are off the chart.
And let's give Jake a round of applause. This is clearly the best shape he was probably ever in his entire life.
He's in pretty good shape, but he's also got censored.
Censored. You can't watch the fangs go in. I paid for extra, sir.
So, I mean, there's not much to say about this other than just a straight up man attacking another man with a snake.
This is The Sense of Wrestling. It is an audio program. You know what a podcast is, Kurt?
I do.
A podcast is it's a topic, and it's a topic within a certain amount of minutes.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Content, baby. Content,
man.
So, my name is Alex Vidalis, and I'm joined by my friend
I'm Kurt Foster
and colleague Kurt Foster, and we are going to take you through the tropes of the professional wrestling world. Why? Why are we going to do this, Kurt? Why? It's a public service. Is that not true?
Oh, you stumped me. No, it is a public service. I was going to say I don't know why we're doing it, but now I feel we have to do this.
So you're tuning in to the WWE Top 10 car crash thing. We're tying this into, of course, the wonderful JC Extreme versus Jamal the Wizard match.
Yeah, so it seems a lot of the crimes in wrestling are really based around vehicular crimes or fire-based crimes.
Yes. And here's now this, like, we have a documented attempted vehicular manslaughter. That's basically what it is. Oh my God! Now they're kidnapped. Well, this is just strange.
Yeah, it's like either they're trying to kill someone with the car or just lock them in the car and then destroy the car.
It's like they're trying to prom date rape Bret Hart.
Oh man,
you know, yeah,
it's bad. There's just too much skin on display in this.
Get out of here! Oh.
No, that's not going to hurt. All that does is destroy 2 limos. That's not.
Worst homecoming ever. That's what we have to say about that.
We are not getting our security deposit back.
Who was your homecoming date, Kurt?
Junior year it was Rachel, and then senior year it was homecoming. Oh, homecoming. So freshman year I only went freshman year.
Was it Randy Orton?
Megan Cleverly.
Shout out to Megan Cleverly. I'm sure a big fan of Randy Orton. Randy Orton, of course, smashed the Phenom with a car. Now, this is very reminiscent of the JC Extreme Jamal the Wizard. It would be interesting to note which one happened first, don't you think?
Yeah, I'd love.
Did we see this? This was insane.
We need to try to put together a timeline of these car incidents to really
see
map
where they
them
fit
out.
in. Yeah, we'll do
we
that.
We might have
for
that
you.
content on the blog.
We can do that. Now, The Rock.
Oh man, Rock.
Wearing the very sensible jacket. That's it's kind of shocking, really.
See, I like these where they're not trying to kill anyone; they're just like
wrecking their car,
destroying the other person's car.
I agree with you. Property damage, I have no problem with because that's just buying into the if you're against that, you're just buying into capitalism,
right? And also, I mean, the Rock, he doesn't need to be tooling around and what is that, an Oldsmobile? Get out of here!
No, that's not. I mean,
Stone Cold's doing you a favor, Rock. Get something more with your personality.
It turns out that the real reason for that was because he wanted The Rock to get a Prius.
I mean, Stone Cold. Environment first.
Look at this. Reigns nearly hit. Okay, is he also driving? I guess the Rock's lineage likes to drive Oldsmobiles.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a Toyota.
See, this had to have happened after the Jamal the Wizard match because he saw enough to get out of the way. He's like, I know what happens if I don't. Oh, I like the plane flying over here. That's an epic, like, Grand Theft Auto style shot there.
And look at I love the NWO jacket that Hollywood's rocking. That is really cool with the white flames.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to think that this subgenre of this, where the ambulances are getting destroyed, is a subtle commentary on the skyrocketing cost of healthcare in this country.
Oh, I absolutely think it is. It's one of Vince McMahon's pet projects. He's always been about getting the cost of healthcare to get lowered. Oh, now
Subliminal reform.
Now, for those of you, this is something that I've been amused to see happen on the Discord board. JBL was championed during one of the lowest times and the lowest gates in history. You know, we're not talking. Oh my God! Like we're really to believe like that he just murdered John Cena. Like that's literally what happened there. He would have murdered him, right? That's where they were inspired. They actually, a lot of the people who go back and watch this time period, they love JBL. They absolutely love JBL. Thought he was just absolutely fantastic.
Well, so what is the outcome of that? Like you would be dead beyond belief.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to have a funeral with any piece of you.
No.
Yeah.
Another limo based. They must have had some kind of like deal with the limo service where they had a bunch of old cars that they were trying to destroy as a tax write-off or something, because there's a lot of limo destruction.
When was Shane's shirt ever cool? That is a fucking ugly shirt.
Oh, no, you don't have the clearance. Oh.
See, what I like about this is the Wile E. Coyote type setting up.
Because he thought for a second, he's like, I'm going to make it through. This is going to go under.
Oh, no, Shane set that up to happen.
He
wasn't. It was a setup. He like set up with like the
Oh.
Now that is clearly where they got the JC Extreme and Jamal the Wizard got the inspiration.
It is. And I do not buy for a second that Rikishi
was driving the car.
Was driving this car. He cannot fit in that limo.
No, and not only that, but most people don't realize this, but Rikishi never ever got his license. Never. He always struggled
two left
with
feet?
No, it was the parallel parking he had trouble with.
Well, maybe try to park something other than a limo. You know,
Yeah.
that'd be my advice. Get a compact to practice with.
Oh, look at this poor limo.
Man, that poor guy. Well, he wasn't even in uniform. I don't think he was authorized to be in this ambulance anyway.
Roman Reigns always been a hater of the first responders.
Although maybe we misunderstood. Maybe he's like, I'm the only guy who could get him to the hospital quickly, but then he got confused about how to get out of the.
Yeah. I could see that. He got stuck in reverse as he was like looking for like his favorite songs on the iPod.
Because you don't have a lot of visibility in those cars. Also,
well, the reverse is the hardest part.
It is,
and that is your WWE top 10 car crash bullshit.
Okay, I'll
that's gold right there.
Lex and Lawler ringside.
Luger literally came out of his car van, into this. Look at, oh my god, like, what the fuck is happening right now? What was that? Oh,
whoa. Okay, so this is an example, and you could compare on the playlist. That's an example of how a fireball is supposed to work.
That's a good one.
But I don't know any walk of life where it's okay to just like throw fire in someone's face as a way to get out of a jam, you know?
That guy had one of those alt-right tiki torches, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Also, that one guy's chest hair went on fire. That was not a planned bump. But the audience is eating it up, so, I mean, what the hell do I know?
It's hard for me to imagine a scenario. Oh, my God. He was on fire for a minute.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine. Oh, my God. Oh, he still is on fire. Look at that. That is. What is happening? Please.
Dude, his whole crotch is on fire.
Wow, that was terrifying. Now, here is what we are going to do in this particular show, Kurt, is we have something we like to call, we're gonna call it, does this concept get pushed? Which is a term that means what? For the people who don't know what it means?
We're gonna put our energy behind it and make it a thing. We're gonna try to make it successful.
We don't actually have to try anything to make success.
We're not doing anything.
Thank God.
I just
for
meant
that.
like, theoretically
what the term means. Gets buried, which in wrestling means something that gets basically pushed down the card, making it fail. So
like getting blacklisted.
Yeah, well,
shadow banned.
Yeah,
it's the shadow banning of wrestling.
But it's also a legitimate way. It's not like something that isn't understood that's going to happen to you. Like when people would leave the territory, they knew they were going to get buried on the way out. Probably.
We're going in a different direction with your character.
And then, of course, repackaged, repurposed, we're going to use the phrase getting barred from the territory to strain the metaphor just a little bit further. Because sometimes what would happen is people would like lose a loser leaves town match just so they would like get their heat back and come back.
Right. So there's something in the gimmick or the trope worth saving. It just might need to be retooled a little bit.
So here's my idea, straight out of the box. If you're going to do the car angle, don't hit someone so hard that that you might actually kill them. That would be an adjustment I would make to that.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, I'll say this looking at these car matches, the one in the backyard has like as crazy as it is, has a degree of reality to it because it's just this guy in a car who hits the other dude. So don't use all these limos because as a viewer, I'm like, oh, I can see them assaulting someone with a car, but destroying this limo and ambulance just means they're racking up like thousands of dollars of property damage that they're not going to be able to walk away from, and it
Also,
ruins the illusion.
Visually, it's just weird.
Yeah,
and they're always black, and it's like on the pavement. You know,
Yeah, it's like rich guys doing rich guy stuff, which is not what I want from pro wrestling.
which is weird because that's what pro wrestling is. Now that I think about it,
It is.
wow, that just
Oh man,
fuck this
All right,
show.
we're shutting it all down.
All right. And so okay, then we would talk about another trope. So then, what about the? So I don't think that there's a constant trope of using animals to attack people in rings, Kurt. But as far as like, I think we came out pretty strong against the idea of using a snake in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, and also like, there's no need to use multiple types of snakes. If you already have a snake that's working, you can stick with that. But above and beyond that, you know, we should leave animals out of the equation altogether.
Yeah, I never enjoyed Coco Beware and the bird. I thought it was gross. I was like, that thing just probably shits everywhere all the time. The British bulldog, the poor dog was just probably terrified half the time. Matilda.
I think that's maybe why they use a bulldog, because those dogs usually seem kind of like, whatever. Like, they don't seem to give much of a shit. But it probably was. And probably if they have to travel around with that thing, it probably had like a really shortened lifespan, because it's like getting crated up and flown all over the world.
Do you know how many rookie bags probably had that dog shit put in it?
All right, now I'm into it.
Yeah. All right. Now, in terms of the fireball trope, how do you feel about the fireball trope? How do you have a hot take on this?
I like the fireball trope.
Who doesn't? It's
I think
visually amazing.
I think I would also put in this category the mist or other kind of like projectile kind of substance.
Sure.
Like, I think if you can get it in the ring and pull it off, then you should be allowed to do it.
Urine attack.
Yeah. I should be able to throw my feces at you in the ring as well. What I'm getting at.
Ladies and gentlemen, G.G. Allen.
What I would say is there should be mandatory practicing for all this. So A, your crotch doesn't light on fire, as you'll see in the videos, or B, you don't pull a Hogan at Halloween Havoc and, you know, burn your own face off with the flash paper.
Yeah, and I would say that also there's I don't know if it's just the way that the lighting is in the arenas or if it's because people used to smoke inside those arenas, but there's definitely such an air of danger in those situations that whatever that is, let's not do that. Because
yeah, that's the thing with the fire, is that it's inherently unstable and you can only control it so much. So, I mean, it's dicey.
All right, so let's go down the list. Are we gonna push them, bury them, or what was the other one? I got to get this down. Gets barred from the territory. Just rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. All right, so cobra attacks, obviously barred from the territory. Animals in general shouldn't be ringside.
They're barred.
Barred. No, they're
buried.
It's buried.
They're buried.
Yeah. Unless they want to come back with animals that, you know what, if they want to train the animals appropriately in wrestling, like become students, I could get behind that.
Or don't have them in the ring. We have to go to their territory. So if you're going to use a manatee to attack Hulk Hogan, you're in the water with the manatees.
Jungle
not the other way
fight
around.
style.
Yep.
I like this. Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? I'm going to change my answer. Not buried. We're gonna
right.
barred from the territory.
Yeah.
Repackage it.
We're going to retool it.
All right. Then the other one is getting hit by cars. How do you feel about getting hit by cars?
I think that's a solid retool. I think there's something there. we just gotta clean it up a little bit.
I think our only adjustment was to just make sure that you don't kill anyone.
Yeah, just maybe a car other than a limo.
Also,
like a Honda Civic.
Let's just not pretend that murder happened. Like, if you want to put the guy in the car and hit it with a car and be like, oh, that was fucked up, great. But if you want to put John Cena's head, bare ass head against,
I know that one is that is the worst of them all.
I don't think I can accept that.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Well, you've done it. You've made it to the end of Sins of Wrestling.
God bless you.
We'll be back soon with another look at a classic wrestling trope. Until then, don't get counted out.
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 All right, let's do one more, just like that. Same one, same exact one. Why? Why are we going to do this, Kurt? Why? It's a public service.